Hi everybody, this is Carissa Dunphy that you're listening and watching the Small Businesses Do It Better show, and this is episode 60. We're going to have Jared Kleiner join me in just a moment. He is 17-year-old tech entrepreneur, and he's already worked with 2 Silicon Valley startups, so he's got a lot of interesting insights to share with us, so stay tuned. Welcome to the Small Businesses Do It Better show, episode 60. I want to tell you that this show is sponsored by Ovaleye TV, and Ovaleye.tv hosts and produces live video events for your upcoming promotion, interview, conference, or whatever you want to market. Visit Ovaleye.tv to request a free 30-minute consultation to find out more about going live with your brand. And also by Tiffany Silverberg. Tiffany Silverberg gets you back to work by taking all those pesky marketing and administrative tasks off of your desk. Whether you need a press release, a blog post written, your marketing materials or website rewritten, or you just need a second pair of eyes, Tiffany can get your words working for you. And I want to tell Tiffany again, not only for working with me, but I've used her several times for press releases. And she always kind of sounds surprised that I don't need any edits on any of my press releases, but she does such a great job at listening and producing good quality work that I don't even need to. So if you need anything done copy-wise, she is a great person to do that for you. So take a look in the show notes for this episode or the last one, and for her contact information. A little bit of news. We're going to be talking about a couple references tonight, so you might want to get a pen and paper ready because Jared has a bunch of resources. He's going to talk about this book that I have in my hand. I'm not going to show you it yet. It'll be a surprise. And as you know, we always have books on the shelf back here. We've got a couple new books, so I don't know, take a look around, I guess you could say. I've heard nothing but good things about word-of-mouth marketing by Andy Cernovitz. So we have that on the shelves back here. And what else is new? We have several new ones. We have Melody Behringer's Craving Success. She's a previous guest of the show. And let's see what else. There's a whole bunch of new ones. I just kind of threw them up here. There's a lot. We should start writing all of these down so you can wonder what the heck they are because there's so many of them. Okay. And I want to say again, thank you to the people who left me reviews in iTunes for the show. So please, if you have a moment, go to our show on iTunes and rate or review. If you love the show, we would love to hear about it. So let's bring Jared on. I'm amazed by Jared. He has so many things that he's already done. He's only 17, but I feel like he looks at things from a different light than most of the people that I have on the show. So I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say from his perspective, because I won't say how old I am, but he makes me feel really old. But he does truly make me think about things in a different way because he sees it completely different. Like, it's going to be the next generation of entrepreneurs. So let's get him on. So hi, Jared. Thanks for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having me. How are you? I'm
great. Thank you. Why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and your company and why you started it?
So like you said, I'm a 17-year-old tech entrepreneur. I live in South Florida. I have a company called Synergist, which is a crowdsourcing site for social entrepreneurs. So, you know, just like Kickstarter, Indiegogo, we help people create, collaborate on, and share social movements. So, you know, the way we separate ourselves is not just through the funding, but we also help people build teams around their ideas and collaborate in a free online workspace. I kind of started this idea after the whole Occupy Wall Street movement, you know, that took place, because I was looking at it and I was figuring, you know, gee, this is a great movement and there's a lot of change that may come out of it, but it's poorly organized and, you know, at the end, not really, you know, nothing much came out of it. So I wanted to create more movements, and I wanted to create better social movements, and that's what I'm doing with Synergist right now.
And how does your platform work?
So there's three parts to it. The first part is create, where anyone can post an idea for a social movement or an enterprise, or you can join with another person's idea, and organically teams will be built, with complementary skill sets, and people can refer other people to work on an idea. These teams then go to collaborate, which is the second part of the site. This is a free online workspace that has free tools such as a calendar, or you can assign tasks, anything that you would need to get your idea off the ground. And the last part is share, which works similar to Kickstarter, where you can post your movement or enterprise, raise funds for it, and you can also have people contribute to it in other ways besides monetarily, like marketing services or legal services.
And one thing that I think is very interesting but smart is you are launching your own campaign on your own platform, which is an industry first for a socially driven company. So
Yeah.
I don't know why other people haven't done this personally. So what made you think to do this for yourself, and why do you think other people haven't done it yet?
Well, it's a great source of bootstrapping for myself. I've bootstrapped up until this point, and I'm a very firm believer in the lean startup principle. So part of this is it's an incredible lean startup experiment for me. It's kind of the ultra, I'm using my own platform to test out my own idea, and if it works, I'll have funding to push it even further, and if it doesn't work, then I know I have to pivot. And the second part is I really want to see how many people are interested in social good, and I think a lot of people are. So I'm pretty confident that the campaign will be successful, and I think we will hit our funding goal, which is $25,000.
Awesome. And I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, where the heck did this kid come from, where he's 17 years old and he's launching this campaign and just jumping right into it? But you have a lot under your belt already. So we talked a little bit earlier, you are kind of graduating ahead because you're 17, you're a junior in high school right now.
Right.
But you're going to be graduating a little more advanced than, say, the typical high school student.
Correct.
And tell us about what you've already worked with these Silicon Valley startups, because this is everyone's dream. You're 17 and you've already worked with two companies. So how did that come to be, and what were your huge takeaways? Obviously, there were some takeaways because you're doing your own thing now.
Yeah, so I started when I was 15, started playing around. I had a site called nowigetit.com that I never fully launched, but I learned a ton of business things from that. And really, when I was 16, I cold contacted David Hassel, who Forbes named as the most connected person you don't know in Silicon Valley. So in other words, he was uberly connected. He knew a ton about the industry, but he wasn't a household name yet. So I just cold contacted him. Turns out he responded. I offered to work for free. And since then, I've been working for a startup called 15.5. And during that experience, he also sent me over to a company called Grocket, which is in the Lean Startup book that I had mentioned earlier. And before I knew it, I was working for both companies at the same time last summer and gained a lot of valuable experience that I'm using now.
That's incredible. And Lean Startup is one of the books we have on our shelves here. I believe it's pronounced Eric Ries. And this is the book that he's referring to. So that company is one of the companies featured in this book?
Correct.
Okay, so I want to talk about connections, because you're like maximizing all these, you're just absorbing everything and putting your people, I don't know, in your little digital file cabinet for when you need them. But you were recently, I think like a week ago, you were featured in Forbes.
Yeah.
And tell us about
2 Fridays ago.
Tell us about that connection, because it came from this the steps that you've been taking.
Yeah, so I attended a conference at Google called the Intersection event. It was an apply to attend event. My mentor, David Hassel, ended up going, so I also joined him there. And while I didn't meet the writer from Forbes at the event, I read his article afterwards detailing what had happened and who had spoken at the event, and really just became friends with him. He used to work at Mona V, which is a health company. My mom used to work there, so kind of had that similarity there, and really just developed a friendship with him. So when he was thinking about having some teenage change agents on his site, I was one of the first people he contacted. And before I knew it, I was on Forbes, which was pretty surreal.
And we have a question in the live chat. What are you doing for your schooling? Are you homeschooled? Do you go to a campus? What are you doing? Because a lot of people are at one point or another middle school, high school, or college dropouts to start a business. So where are you in that process, and what are your plans for that?
I am actually still in the public school system. I go to a school with about 2,500 kids, and I take 7 AP classes, which is a college equivalent. So I do have a very heavy workload with my schooling. I have never thought about dropping out, although I am friends with a lot of people in the Uncollege network and the under 20 community who are deciding between whether or not to go to school or not, which I think I'm still going to go to college, but it's definitely a valid argument that I've been hearing both sides of.
And I think it varies per person and lifestyle and
definitely
business
varies per person.
that they're starting.
Most people can't not afford to go to college, but for some people, I think there's more value in the real world.
I think it depends on the person. So, okay, so let's talk about another big name that everyone's heard of, which is Techcrunch. So tell us about this, because this is, I can't even believe you haven't even technically launched your company yet, and you're already being featured by these huge names. And part of this is the type of project, part of it is your age, part of it is your connections. So tell us about the Techcrunch and where that fell in your network.
So I haven't been featured in Techcrunch yet, although I'm pretty sure there will be an article on Saturday. I have one more interview tomorrow with that. But that's another friend I know who covered 15.5, which is the startup I currently work for in Silicon Valley. And again, just keeping contacts, you never know who's going to help you out in the future. So really just being friendly with everyone and keeping tabs on everyone. I use LinkedIn, which is a really powerful tool. I email like crazy. The little things.
That's a really good tip. A lot of people that I've come across often say, oh, I keep meaning to go to LinkedIn, and I keep meaning to spend more time there. But that really is where you can make these connections. Like you said, keep tabs on people and always kind of know where they're at, because you never know when you're going to need to talk to someone or when they'll want you, or vice versa. So how do you use LinkedIn? Because this really, I think, is still, by a lot of people I talk to, underutilized for a lot of purposes. So how do you use it on a personal level and a business level for everything?
Well, the first time I reached out to David Hassel, I literally just sent him a message through LinkedIn because I couldn't find his email. So that's just one example, which led to my Silicon Valley experience. Whenever I'm looking up someone, I can just go on LinkedIn, normally find their contact info. If I want to find out about a company, go on LinkedIn. Anytime I meet someone, add them on LinkedIn. Then I can find out, all their experience and see where we have synergy with our experiences or whatnot. There's a ton of tools. As useful as Facebook is for your social life, LinkedIn is for your professional life.
Definitely. I would agree with you on that. Okay, so we just showed a picture of you and Tony Stark. Tell us what the heck on that, because that's awesome.
Yeah, so I was at an event called Lean Startup Machine in Miami back in August of last year. And what that is another Lean Startup reference. It was a workshop, kind of like a startup weekend event, where it was a hackathon but teaching Lean Startup principles. And we had a app that brought together models and photographers based on location. So naturally, to figure out whether our idea was good or not, we had to go find photographers. And the only place we could find photographers was at a comic convention. So I've never been to a comic convention in my life before that. And the four of us went in there dressed like normal people, and everyone was giving us weird stares as we were giving them weird stares, and found Tony Stark. So had a little fun, ended up winning that event, and that's just another awesome experience that I've had, and even more networking that I accomplished at the event.
I could totally picture that now. You were the only normal people, underdressed people at that whole place. Now, those comic conventions are eye-opening.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting experience. And, this whole business experience has definitely made me more outgoing, and I can pretty much talk to anyone after experiences like those.
And you have a picture. I mean, so many people that I speak with, they say they get props and stuff, or they have something crazy just because so many people want a picture with that. And that picture speaks volumes. It's hilarious, too.
Yeah, I should have gotten a picture from the next day, because the next day we went to the beach in South Beach to interview models. So we were walking around to any attractive girl and, asking them if they modeled. That would have been a better picture. But
I don't know. Tony Stark is pretty rockin'.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a couple of comments in the live chat. Julie Boucher is talking about LinkedIn. How do you decide, I guess this is a personal question, and I'm sure my answer would be different than yours, but how do you decide whether or not to connect with someone on LinkedIn? Because I'm sure you get connect requests from people you've never even met before.
Yeah.
So where do you draw that line?
I'm decently selective, although not, excruciatingly selective. If I met them at an event, I'll normally add them. But if they're just pitching me out of the blue, through some free directory saying, hey, I'd like to offer you so-and-so services, or I'd like you to join my group that I just made, I normally ignore it. But if I met them at an event, I'll probably add them.
Definitely. I think one of the key things is if you've heard of them before, for one, and on what level have you worked with them? Because I get a lot of those unsolicited. I'm just like, who is this person? Or somebody that sounds cool, but you have no connection to. I got one from, I don't even know if it was real, but I got a connection the other day from a model who I've seen on TV and is a well-known name. And I'm like, that's really weird. I didn't even connect with her. I was like, that'd be cool, but there's really no point to it.
No, I mean, the key with the LinkedIn is to build the most powerful network. So the number of connections you have really does not matter. I mean, just like in real life, it's the quality of people that you build.
And this is kind of in the same realm. I'm listening to a book on Audible right now. It's written by, or spoken or whatever, by the one of the co-founders of LinkedIn, and it's really interesting. It goes into depth about the principles behind LinkedIn and why it is what it is. And one of their main components is that tree that you see on the right side of third-person connections or second-person connections. And I've used it personally for if I need to meet someone who's that third connection, there's that middle person that can introduce you. Yeah. Which is extremely valuable. So anyways, that's my little...
Yeah, those definitely help. Although if it's like a third-degree connection, then you have to get two introductions, which is kind of hard. But definitely any second-degree connections, that is almost a given.
Yeah, so maybe we can all meet some Avengers through second or third-degree connections.
There you go.
So tell us about your launch, which is this weekend. Tell us what you're doing, what you're planning, how you expect things to go, what the heck you're going to do if something goes haywire. I'm sure you got it all planned out, but fill us in on everything about that.
Yes, so the launch is Saturday. We have a ton of PR ready to go, hopefully Techcrunch, potentially Fast Company, ton of blogs. Ink will be the next week, hopefully. And really, we're just, me and my team are going to sit here and hack away, try and spread the news as much as possible. But for now, up until the beginning of the campaign, we're offering backers pre-campaign rewards that are exclusive. So if you want to go on now and support the campaign, you'll get rewards that people won't get, after the campaign starts. We'll probably do that during launch day as well, but maybe less exclusive. So if you really want to support Synergist, I'd go on now and get, the most awesome reward you can. I think it'll go well. We're shooting for 25,000, which isn't out of realm. And for the amount of growth hacking we are doing and the the amount of research we put into it, I think it'll be pretty successful.
Very cool. So if you want to go to Synergist, I'm going to say this wrong. Synergy.st.
Yeah, it's Synergist, but there's a dot before the ST.
Okay, so if you go to that website
play on word.
and click support project, his project is in there, so you can look at it. If you want to, it says on the right hand side, as you can see, video, the price that you contribute, and he lists what you would get for that contribution. So if you want to give him $1, he will give you a video shout out. $10, $50, $100, $400, and it goes all the way up to $25,000.
Yeah, if you want to just fund the campaign, we'll go on a really cool trip to Haiti, and we'll do some game changing and peacekeeping right there and then, hands on.
Very cool.
That's
Okay,
just a cool little throw out, but we'll see who bites.
so why not? You met Iron Man. Or I guess it would be Tony Stark, right? He was half Iron Man.
He was half Iron Man and he was half drunk at the time, so.
I'm sure a lot of people are wondering this, because I am. With all your planning and prep work for this giant launch, how are you getting the attention of, these, we talked about Forbes, but Techcrunch, Fast Company, Inc., how are you getting in their radar? How much of it is your age incorporated in the story? How much of it is a new tech company? Where do you think you fall within that newsworthy information?
Right. So I've gotten this question a lot, actually, and I look at it from a scientific point of view, the whole lean principle yet again, and I've pretty much A/B tested the whole message, the whole, outlook on how I approach them. And some of them, I went to my friends first and my contacts. The other ones, I utilized what my friends were telling me, and I A/B tested the subject line. You have to have a catchy subject line. That's the first thing they see. Then I keep messages short because they get hundreds of emails a day. I give them 2 or 3 angles that they can play off of, and I make sure that the outlet is even specific to what I'm doing. So if they don't pitch young entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, or crowdsourcing, chances are I won't even waste my time.
Exactly.
So then I go to them, give them my 2 or 3 points. I tell them that it's for a really good cause. I give them my Forbes article now. I give them I was featured in the Shark Tank blog, so I give them that. And it gets easier once you have 1 or 2 features, but really just A/B test your message until you get a winning formula, which would be anything over like a 5% conversion rate.
That's good info. Sorry to geek out again between Iron Man and Shark Tank. My head's gonna explode here. But Shark Tank blog, that's a great one to get featured on, because there's a lot of entrepreneurs. It's great visibility, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I'm getting laughed at in the live chat about my Iron Man geekness. Julie Boucher, who, by the way, is I guess you would call her owner of Salasa, would like to know how you handle your PR. Do you do all of it yourself? Do you have a company? Do you trade? What do you do?
No, I am the consummate bootstrapper, so I've been doing most of the PR myself. I have 4 kids from my high school on a little social media campaign team for the next 2 months who have been helping me reach out to other bloggers as well and other media members. But the big fish I normally go after myself. And if you A/B test your way through PR, then you could pretty much get done as much as a PR firm, minus all the time you spend.
Definitely. So you got 4 interns.
Yeah.
That's what we say there. Okay, and I totally lost my train of thought, but one point I would like to make is I love the bootstrapping, because these people are learning from you, they're helping you, you're learning from them, vice versa. But how do you barter with other people? Because I am terrible at like writing press releases, so I normally trade of some sort for these things that are out of my comfort or my natural ability.
Right. I don't barter in that sense. I do barter in the sense that if people give me a favor, I always make sure I give them a favor first. Normally, I'm the one, doing the giving first before you get. And I like to spend at least a few hours a week just helping other people because you never know when it'll come back. So that's the kind of bartering I do, and it seems to work pretty well. I have a pretty good network that likes me, so I'll keep it up.
And what do you think about you're using these interns because you go to school with them?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think if an entrepreneur or business owner went to, say, a high school student and said, and proposed the same thing to them? Would it be like weird or crossing a line because they're not in school going to school with them? Or do you think most high school students that are interested in entrepreneurship would find this of value and participate in that?
Well, I made sure that I pre-selected the people I picked, so it wasn't just my random friends. They were people who had some sort of experience or just, had a lot of guts and wanted to get at it.
How'd you find them? I mean, you go to school with them, but did you put a flyer up or an ad somewhere, or?
No, I knew 3 of them. I posted a few messages in like the class group and got a few responses, and one of them, this girl goes to my high school, but I did not meet her until March when I went to a conference in California, which is really crazy because we met in California, but we go to the same high school.
Wow.
And she was at a tech conference, so naturally she's interested in the subject and, just brought her onto the team this week.
Very cool. And how do you hear about, or how do you find out which of these conferences to go to? Because you're picking conferences that have serious impact for you, that really, give you all the bang for your buck. So where do you find all these resources that are right exactly what you need them to be?
Well, good mentors are a good source of knowing where to find good events at my age. So probably 2 of the events have come from mentor recommendation, and I was working at one of them with 15.5. The other ones come from recommendations in the under 20 community, which is the Teal Foundation's community from the 20 under 20 group that I'm now a part of. I'm not a part of the 20 under 20 fellowship, but I'm part of the bigger community there. So I've gotten quite a few opportunities from that group, which has been incredible. And I'm now connected to most of the world's young game changers, which is really awesome.
That is really awesome. And that's a good group, it sounds like. And for those of us who are not under 20, I know there's 30 under 30, 40 under 40. I'm not sure how high this goes, but
there's plenty of groups for you to find, and it is key to find those groups. So you can probably find a few locally. You can find a few on Facebook. Definitely get into 1 or 2 of those incredible networking groups.
Is your group, does it have a Facebook group, or is it a LinkedIn group, or where do you guys, what's your platform online?
The under 20 community mostly goes through the Facebook group, although they're branching out to a new thing called GroupTie, which is the new startup from the old founder of Startup Digest.
Okay.
But yeah, mostly Facebook. And I know me and you are in the same Shark Tank entrepreneurs group on Facebook, so groups like that are awesome to be a part of and really network with.
I agree, and I like the Facebook private groups because everybody's on it, for one. But, you can choose how active you want to be on it. And I think Facebook's a little more active than LinkedIn, but I've also gotten great value out of LinkedIn groups as well.
Yeah, why not do both? Why not do everything?
It's whole different markets. You cover all your bases.
Twitter, Reddit, everything.
Reddit. Okay, so before I let you go, tell us where we can find you online, if you want to talk about anything else you have going on, and where we can support your campaign.
Well, I think I gave you a link to share with viewers. Although you can just go straight to Synergist, there's also a link straight to the project. And I really need everyone's support. We're launching on Saturday, but I'd love to have some pre-campaign love. So I definitely need that. You can find me on Twitter at Jared Kleinert. Just make sure you spell my name right. LinkedIn, /in/Jared Kleinert. Google Jared Kleinert. I'm the only one that you'll find. Yeah, it's pretty much, that's about it.
Okay, that's great. So Synergist is on the bottom of the screen right now, but Synergist, and there's a dot right before the ST. Mm-hmm. So go there, click on, where did it go? Support project, which is right in the top corner here.
Correct. And then that's the only project up.
check out all his info here, because this is still us old folks, you know, not as young and spring chickens as yourself. This is going to be eye-opening to a lot of people, so at least go to his website and see how this type of campaign and platform works, because you can learn something from just reading this and how it's set up and how the process works. So, Jared, I want to thank you so much for being a guest on the show tonight. You had some great information, and I feel a lot older now.
Thanks for having me.
So thanks very much. I really do feel old, though. Okay. So this was some really great info. If I will have all these links in the show notes if you're listening to this after the fact, which is on smallbusinessesdoitbetter.com, in case you're listening on iTunes or YouTube or wherever. And next week we have a fun guest. I'm super stoked for this. Matt, who's in the live chat right now, you can talk to him about it too. So next week we have an Edison Awards episode, and this is, I could use a number of words here, but this is freaking awesome. And so the Edison Awards is Innovations and Innovators. This weekend they're announcing the 2013 winners, and the guest who we're having on Tuesday, Dr. Levine, he is a finalist in the Edison Awards for this year, and he has Glow, which is, you may have seen it on Dr. Oz. It's a tray that you put in your mouth to whiten your teeth, and it uses a combination of light, heat, and his special toothpaste to whiten your teeth, so you don't have any chemicals or irritants or anything like that. It's just with light. And the product that we'll be featuring is also a finalist in the 2013 Edison Awards, which is Soap Time. And I don't want to spoil this because it's really cool, and even though I'm not a kid, I was totally playing with it because it's really neat. It's a very innovative and smart way to get your kids to wash their hands the right way and for the right length of time. Or adults, that's fine. I'll use it too. So I'll show you that. So stay tuned next week and every week, Tuesdays, 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern at smallbusinessesdoitbetter.com. And thanks everyone for watching tonight.